there, this is Mrs. Rusnak. Today I'm going to show you how to do catheter care on a female with hand washing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and sanitize my hands, rub this on all surfaces, make sure it's dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my supplies in with me. I am going to take an output sheet. I'm going to take 2 towels, 2 washcloths, a bath blanket, a waterproof Chucks pad, a wash basin, and a soap. In real life, many times this wash basin and this soap will be in their drawer, but for testing purposes, you'll have to get it off of the tables. So I'm going to go ahead and carry this away from my uniform, and I'm going to go ahead and set this on the tray table. Actually, let me set it here, and then I'm going to go ahead and greet the resident. I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, Mrs. Miller, how are you? I'm Amy, I'm your STNA. I'm going to go ahead and do catheter care on you. How does that sound? Just going to tell me that sounds okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up, and then we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a towel on my tray table, just as a protective barrier. You can also work from your side table. It is up to you what you want to do. And then I'm going to just set these things up on the tray table, and I'm going to go ahead and fill my wash basin with warm water. I'll be right back. I'm going to fill your basin with warm water. So I'll go over to the sink. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this with warm water, approximately 105 degrees. And head back to the room. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the privacy curtain, and I'm going to go ahead and put gloves on, and I'm going to raise the bed. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the side rail up for safety, and then I'm going to raise the bed up to mid-thigh level. And I'm kind of tall, so I do raise this up pretty high to help with my back. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on. Pull my tray a little closer, my linen hamper a little closer. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover them with a bath blanket. Anytime you're doing a skill with water, you want to use the bath blanket, and you want to fan fold their blankets and sheets down. That way you don't get them wet and don't have to change the sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and cover them with a bath blanket. They're going to get cold, and also you don't want to get them exposed. You want to keep them as covered as possible. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a waterproof pad and put that under them. We're going to go ahead and roll you over, Miss Miller. So I'm going to roll her over. And I would make sure that their face is not in the side rail and that type of thing. As far as putting the Chucks pad under them, you're going to go ahead and roll this, and then I'm going to roll them back. Okay, and I'm going to go over to the other side. And pull this Chucks out from under them. And then just make sure they're covered. All right, and once I've rolled them over to put the Chucks pad underneath them, I want to make sure, and I have to physically check and say that the tubing is not kinked and that it is flowing urine into the urinary catheter bag. You also might want to check what the color of the urine is in the bag, and mentally make a note if it's cloudy, if it's clear, and that kind of thing, if there's any odor from it. All right, so this is not kinked. The catheter bag is not kinked, and it is flowing, the tubing. So now I'm going to go ahead and proceed and clean their catheter. Okay, So you want to go ahead and expose them as least as possible. So I use their gown kind of as something to shield them and their blanket at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get my wash rag wet. And then I'm going to go ahead and put soap all over it. And get a soapy washcloth. And then squeeze it out. All right, and then you're gonna wanna take the tip of the wash rag, you're gonna use all four corners of the wash rag, and then you wanna make sure that you do not tug on the tubing. So you're gonna hold on to the tubing, and you're gonna go around the tubing, and then in one motion, you're gonna wrap this washcloth around the tubing, hold the tubing here not to pull it, and pull 3 to 4 inches down. So that's one set of washing. Go to the next corner of the wash rag, you're gonna hold the tubing, go around, and then wrap the washcloth around the tubing and hold the tubing and pull 3 to 4 inches down. And then go to one more corner and do the same thing. Go around the catheter, holding the tubing, and then come up here and hold the tubing and wrap the washcloth around and go 3 to 4 inches down. That's washing the catheter. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in my linen hamper. Now I'm gonna get my rinse rag. So go ahead and wet this rag. And you're basically gonna do the same procedure as you did for washing, but now you're gonna rinse the tubing. So I'm gonna hold the tubing, go around the catheter, then hold the catheter here and pull down 3 to 4 inches. Next corner, go around, hold the tubing 3 to 4 inches, go to the next corner, go around the catheter, hold the catheter 3 to 4 inches. I'm gonna put this in the linen hamper. Next thing is I'm gonna go ahead and take the towel. So I'm gonna take one corner of the towel, do the same motion, go around, holding the tubing, hold the tubing up top, close to the urethra, pull down 3 to 4 inches. Go to another corner, go around the catheter, hold the tubing, 3 to 4 inches, and then one more corner. Go around, hold the tubing, 3 to 4 inches. And then this goes in the linen hamper. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover the resident up. And at this point, I can go ahead and remove the bath blanket and take their blankets and sheets and cover them up. And then before I clean up my supplies, I'm going to go ahead and lower them because I don't want to walk away from the bed with it being elevated. And I'm going to go ahead and put the side rail down. I'm first going to remove the chucks pad from them. So I actually should not have lowered the bed. Just raise that back up. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and roll them over. Roll that chucks pad up. Remove. And you could do this before you take off the bath blanket if you'd like. Pull that off. And then put this in the linen hamper, and I'm going to go ahead and put this side rail down. And I don't want to walk away from the bed when it's raised. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to empty your wash basin. So go ahead to the sink. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this wash basin out. I'm going to wash, rinse, and dry it. Disinfect it. And take paper towels and dry it. Okay, take this back to their room. put the soap away. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove this linen. Put this in the linen hamper. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove my gloves. Drop these into the wastebasket. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and open this privacy curtain. All right, Mrs. Miller, are you okay? Do you need anything else? I'm going to make sure that she has her call light. And I'm going to make sure everything's back in place in her room. All right, and then I'm going to leave this here till after I wash my hands, and then I'll write on my output sheet if I need to put anything about the urinary output or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands because that is a part of this skill also. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a paper towel, and I'm going to go ahead and take any jewelry that I have off, anything that I have on, set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on, make sure it's warm, and then I'm going to run my hands under the water, and I'm going to put soap on my hands. Make sure that my uniform does not touch the countertop. And I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands for approximately 20 seconds, between 20 and 40 seconds. And I want to cover all surfaces of my hands, in between my fingers, my thumbs. You want to take your fingernails and scrub them on the palm of each hand. Include your thumbs in that. Okay, you want to do around the wrist. And you should be able to sing the other wrist. You should be able to sing the ABCs twice or the Happy Birthday song. You want to go ahead and scrub vigorously over the sink, and you don't want to touch anything on the sink, the faucet, the sink itself, that kind of thing. When you're done washing, you want to take your hands and wash from wrist down, let the water run down, don't touch the sink. If you do touch something, be honest and tell the tester that you just contaminated your hands and you need to start over. Don't try to get away with it and hope she doesn't notice it. All right, once my hands are rinsed, I want to go ahead and just let them drip dry. You don't want to fling your hands or anything like that. I'm going to go over to the paper towel dispenser, pull several sheets of paper towel off, dry my hands from tip of my fingers up to my wrist. And if they're not completely dry, you can take more paper towel, which I like to do one for each hand. So fingertip up to the wrist. Throw that away, and then to turn off your faucet, you can go ahead and take your paper towel and turn off your faucet. If you have drips around on your sink or anything like that, don't bother cleaning that up. I would go ahead and put my jewelry back on. Put this away. Then I would go ahead and go back to the resident's room, and I would make sure they're all set up, they have everything they need, she has her call light, that kind of thing. I would grab my sheet and I would note any information I need to about the urine itself, the color, the amount, that type of thing. All right, thank you.